10, RS20 Riesling from Tasmania. Matt, why are we making Tasmanian Riesling? Don't we make Strathbogie Riesling?
Well, if we talk to the viticulturalist...
What happened, Dylan?
Well, there was a hell of a lot of rain that came down, and the crop got rained out, got a bit of bot. It was too early to pick it, would have been green.
What's bot?
Botrytis.
What's Strathbogie?
It's a fungus. Strathbogie is about 3 hours in that direction, which is about north if you can tell where we are facing. And it's elevation of around 500-600 metres, so very granitic soil, so that when we got the rainfall it washed away real quick. That was no problem, but the fruit was just at a susceptible stage, so a bit green to pick and a little bit too much disease to let it go through to do our first pick, which would normally suit the style. So Mac went on a road trip, well we both went on a road trip.
So where'd this one come from, Mac?
Launceston.
Well,
vintage is pretty much finished for us, and so we're just like, what the hell, let's go for a bit of a search, and if we find something good. So I don't know whether it was any good, but...
Let's have a look. Let's stop talking. Oh, sorry, Del. Can you tell us anything about the butterfly on the front this year, Matt? Is it? It actually is a Tasmanian butterfly.
It is a Tasmanian butterfly.
What it was called?
It was called the brown and orange butterfly from
Tassie. But it wasn't a moth?
No, it wasn't a moth.
It's quite light in colour, isn't it?
It is. It's good Riesling colour. So went down. Was a much simpler process than I expected, except for all the delayed flights out of Launceston.
Qantas?
Qantas Link and Virgin, they all managed to stuff it up.
No one came to the party.
But there was a good selection of sites from Joseph Cromie, and this came off the leanest, most gravelly soils, and we pressed it down there, lots of skin contact, really oxidative, and brought it back as juice, which we received about 4 days later.
True.
And then?
We received the wine and the juice in massive goon bags, and from there we put 2/3 of it into white barrels, back here somewhere, old white barriques, and the other third into stainless steel tank, and that was temperature controlled at 10 degrees. So they're all natural ferments. We just sat there patiently and waited for them to start fermenting, and I'm glad that we're making a sweet style because I don't think it would have fermented dry.
Okay, so tasting notes for this wine.
It's quite floral and appley, lots of green apple, maybe a little bit of red apple even in there.
It's been a really bizarre wine. It was so stinky and unattractive for quite a long period, and we just didn't know how it was going to settle down and how much the fruit was going to fill in, I guess, some of the phenolics and certainly the high acidity, but it's already got a really nice juicy weight about it that carries that acidity. Yeah,
it kind of went through its teenage years in the winery, you know, it was a bit stinky. We had to give it the hint to start using deodorant and whatnot, and it sort of came up now, it smells a lot better.
Totally in a different place, so far removed from our Strathbogie fruit. It does have some very fine white floral notes, but where you get incredibly generous floral aromatics with Strathbogie, I think this is much more focused.
Oh, it's got great drive. Lovely. It's almost mineralic.
Tiger, would you be happy with this?
Tiger would be happy with that. And you can barely detect the sugar, which is kind of what we're going for.
Looks really dry, and it will be fascinating just to see how this develops in bottle. I don't think there's any concerns with throwing it in the cellar for a period and leaving it. It's
it'd be a good candidate for a time capsule.
It would, and there's no way I would have any idea where this was from, tasting it blind.
That's for sure.
Anyway, that's our only Riesling for 2010. Cheers.
Cheers.